If you're here today, you're probably heartbroken. And so am I. You're probably looking for answers, or maybe you're trying to console yourself and get answers as to why whatever you're going through is hurting you so much. Heartbreak can shatter us in so many ways. It can actually drain you so much, and that's why today's video, I'm not giving it from a point of advice. I am actually giving it as someone who can actually relate. I lost my pet, my cat. His name was Starah. And I have been going through it for days. I've been crying. You can see, I've cried. My eyes are swollen. At the same time, when I cry, my skin starts peeling. So I am here as your bestie, as someone who understands. So whether you're going through a heartbreak, maybe from a relationship, from friendship, from family, or just from a pet, let us go through this together. In today's video, we are going to understand why it hurts so much and get some practical steps on how to heal and move forward. What are some of my personal experiences with heartbreaks? Oh, currently I am heartbroken, as I've said. I'm going through a massive heartbreak. And let me tell you about Starah. I met Starah in 2022. Out of the 4 kittens that were born by a stray mom, he was the only one who survived a vehicle that crushed them. Like the other kittens died, but for him, he survived, but his hand was cut from here. He did not have this hand. And I remember seeing him at first, and I was like, I want to give this kitten a home. He reminds me so much of my hand. And my friend brought him to my house. He was brought in a box. And I remember seeing him, and I was super scared, extremely scared when I saw him. No, sorry. I'm not the one who was scared. He was the one who was super scared. And that day, I remember I was traveling to the United States of America for a business course. So he came. It was like my blessing. Like he came, and then he was left with the other kittens. Starah took time to start playing. He was that kitten who was scared about life, scared about facing people. He was just a kitten who was beautiful from the outside, but very scared. And because of it, I could relate with his life, and I tried as much as possible to give him the best life. I called doctors. Like, I had several doctors checking his arm, and I wanted to see if something could be done, because when I was younger myself, I had an accident, but we did not have the money. So I saw it as an opportunity to help Starah overcome. I am not going to cry. I'm going to be okay. I was going to help Starah overcome, his hand, and I really tried to save it. Fortunately or not fortunately, there was nothing that could be done for his hand. So that doctor that I consulted said that I should amputate Starah. It was a very hard decision to make. Very hard decision to make. And we amputated him. And he came home, and we had to use spirit on that wound for over a month so that it could not get an infection. And I think that one combined with the fact that he was born on the streets broke him so much, because after that he could not hold him or get close to him. And still, I did not give up on Starah. I loved him, everything, even my passwords. Most of my passwords were Starah. Everyone knew Starah, and I was, Starah comes from the name Star, and Star is my name. So this cat actually showed me my life. And this is the time that Starah was starting to love. He was starting to open up. He was starting to play. And because, he had a disability, I did not want to discriminate him. And he was playing with other cats and all that. But he sneaked out, and and dogs got into him. And I remember seeing his lifeless body 2 days ago, and I've just been heartbroken. So, but the good thing is, Starah was loved. I took care of him as my cat. I gave everything. I invested. That is the most expensive cat I've owned. I spent a lot of money in hospital bills, hoping to fix his hand, and it did not work. And I am grateful that God gave me a chance to see my own life in him. I felt like I was looking at myself and how scared I am about life, how I do not like showing up in places, how I do not play, I do not do a lot of things. And I think God just wanted to heal me through an animal. And now he's gone. And I've been heartbroken. I've been heartbroken. I've been crying. I've been, I'm like, God, I wish it was another cat. But it's okay. So that is my experience, my recent experience with heartbreak. What has it taught me? It has taught me about resilience. It has taught me about perseverance, because that cat would never, go a day without eating. Doesn't matter how sick he was, he would always eat. He would always be strong. And it taught me about learning to live again. And because for me, I'm the kind of people who say, I'm okay without getting married. I do not want to go through the experiences I went as a child. And now seeing Starah trying to live a normal life, he died trying to live a normal life. He died trying to get outside and trying to just, he died trying to show up. And the fact that he overcame his hand and all his fears teaches me that maybe one day I will overcome my fears. Maybe one day I will love. Maybe one day I'll overcome my mind. I hope I will be courageous as him. But even if I won't be, at least I got to see him living a life. And it taught me about love. Sometimes you do not have to be close to something to love it. I do not have a lot of photos with Starahs and a lot of videos because he always kept his boundaries. He had strong boundaries. Baby boy knew how to keep his boundaries. So I do not have a lot of videos with him because you could not record him. But that did not mean that we did not love each other. We did love each other. So that's my recent heartbreak experience. And as you see, this story was passionate to me about heartbreaks. Other type of heartbreaks. Okay. I remember the first heartbreak I had in life. I was in class 4, and it was from one of my uncles, and he got mad, and then he went living in the streets, and we were very close. So that was the biggest heartbreak I had as a child, because I could not understand why. Why were you bringing biscuits? Why were you coming to talk to me? Why did you love me so much? You were spending time with me, giving me stories, and all of a sudden you're now in the streets and you don't have clothes and you don't come home anymore. That was a lot for me. And as I kept wondering what I would have done more as a child to help him. Yeah, that was the biggest one. Of course, there are these other heartbreaks. There are different type of heartbreaks, the families I lived with, there are some of them that I had to leave them, and I really loved them so much. There was my mom rejecting me on my face and telling me, I'm not your child. That was a heartbreak, a massive one. I was like, hey, it has defined almost my whole life. When your mother faces you and tells you, you should have died instead of becoming disabled. That's quite a statement to come from a mom. But those ones have already healed. Then, there was one of the biggest ones during my early adulthood was, my teen years. Yeah, it was when I was in a business partnership. And now I found out my business partner wasn't who I knew he was, and I had to leave. That one was so heartbreaking because we were doing things together. We had dreams we needed to achieve together. So starting again a business by myself, it drained me so much. So that one was heartbreaking. I've been heartbroken several in businesses. I've lost money. I've lost, employees that I really valued. So I've really been through heartbreaks, a lot of them. And I hope I do not experience a loved one. I hope I get the right one and we marry immediately. Because imagine a cat is killing me like this and I'm heartbroken like this. What will a human being do? It would be so much. So you see, I'm not giving advice from just a point of, an advisor. I have gone through heartbreaks myself. And I'm here. I did not die. And that tells you, you always have the muscles of overcoming stuff. When you look at your life, when I look at my life, I've overcome so much. So this still also gonna press. And so please share with us, what are your experiences with heartbreaks? How are you healing? How are you dealing with it? What is the biggest heartbreak you've ever experienced? I am curious to know. I've shared mine, remember? It's a safe space. You have to share yours as well. Hello, online family. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brightstar, and this one is just not another star. This one is beautiful, bold, brave, bright, brilliant, and a little extra. Bright by name, bold by purpose. Bright by name, star by nature. Built from grass to grace, rising through scars and refusing to dim. In this channel, I'm just not Brightstar. I am your online bestie. So whether you came here for the laughter, for the lessons, or a little bit extra, You are in the right place. Here we laugh, we grow, and we shine together. Life is too short to dim your light. So if you've ever lost your light, I hope you find some of it here. Because in this platform, it's all things bold, all things Brightstar. Why does heartbreak hurt so much? There are so many reasons that explain why it feels horrible. It feels as if you are dying. It feels like you cannot live until tomorrow. There are so many reasons when you go through a heartbreak, you feel devastated. And I am just going to state a few of them. One is you loved deeply. The reason why it hurts you, whether it involves a relationship or a friendship, a family member, or even a pet like me, it's because you gave your whole heart. Like you went all in. You were emotionally invested, you were physically invested, and so you gave your all. And that is actually something beautiful. That's something not to be ashamed of. Although it hurts, you should actually be proud that you had the courage and the confidence to love deeply and experience how it feels to love and to be loved. You are mourning many things at the same time. The reason why it's very overwhelming is that you're just not mourning the person or the thing or whatever it is that you are experiencing heartbreak from. You are mourning the person, or like me, the pets. You are mourning the routines you had built around them. You are mourning the memories you had with them. You are grieving because you had a future imagined with them. And at the same time, there was just a lot. Like you have to go through a lot because you had even maybe had some memories and build a schedule around them. And now you feel you're naked. You're naked because you do not know where to start without that. Like for my case, I do not know where to start without my pets. And if it's for you, if it's a relationship, you do not know where to start. Like there are a lot of things that are entangled, and that makes you feel overwhelmed and broken. So it's just not, people will tell you, get over it. It's just a heartbreak. No, it's not a heartbreak. You are going through a change. You through everything. Like it can be entwined with a lot of things. And that's why it hurts so much. Your brain feels like it's experiencing physical pain. Yeah. It's not just in your head as you're thinking. You're actually in physical pain. And do you know why? It's because your whole body is going through withdrawal. So it's like an addiction. It's like you've stopped taking cocaine or addictive substance. And this is because research shows that when you go through a heartbreak, it actually activates the part of the brain that deals with stress and physical pain. So you find your I'm getting anxious speaking about this, so you're gonna forgive me today if you find myself saying and all that. Yeah, I'm really it's triggering me, but anyway, as I was saying, your stress hormone goes up and then your happiness hormones drops, and that's why you feel as if you're actually in pain. You can't breathe, your skin is in pain, your chest is in pain. It's because you're actually experiencing physical pain. It shakes your sense of safety. When you love something or someone and you invested in them, you actually build your safety around them. You know where you belong, you feel grounded, you actually feel like you are part of something. And then when they suddenly drop you, maybe they dump you, or you lose that person, maybe they die, or you go through some rough periods where it culminates to a heartbreak, then that safety and stability is shaken. And now it feels a loss. It feels very painful because you are already feeling safe around this thing, and then it no longer exists, or this person, and they're no longer there. So the pain becomes immeasurable. Your identity gets entangled. Sometimes when you love something or someone and you love them so much, you actually start building dreams around them. They become your safe space, as we said. So your safety is around them, your routines is around them, your dreams is around them, and so you have a lot of hope for the future. And hopes is what hurts you when they're no longer there, because now you had already imagined how everything will be done together, and you're already used to you and them being together. So starting to build your dreams again, starting to build your life again, starting to build a social life and everything without them becomes very, very painful. It changes your brain temporarily. It's like a form of emotional trauma. Your body senses it as a danger, and that's why you end up drained, both mentally and physically. We've all seen what heartbreak causes. It will cause sleeplessness, that is, you wake up at 3 a.m. thinking about them, or you can't actually sleep at all. Racing thoughts where you cannot stop thinking about them. Lack of appetite where food doesn't taste the same and you don't want to eat at all. And at the same time, it can actually cause you to be restless. You just feel like you cannot live without this person. And this is because your brain, the part of your brain that is functioning, has been messed up temporarily. It also causes you to have mood swings, where 1 minute you're happy and the other minute you're numb. 1 minute you're crying, the other minute. It's just a lot of emotions that are happening, and that part of your brain has been messed up. Emotional withdrawal. When you're in love with something or someone, it makes you be so happy. It brings you the happiness signals in your brain. When you go through a heartbreak or you lose that thing or that person, it somehow you lose those happy signals. And that is why you start withdrawing. That's why you start missing this person. You start going through social media, scrolling their photos. You want to call them back. You want to meet them one last time. You just want to connect. That's not you. It's actually biology. It's showing your brain, it's trying to soothe itself. Your brain is craving the happy chemicals that it got when you are with this person, or in case this pet or your family or whoever it is that you're going through a heartbreak with. The what ifs. The what if starts playing in your mind when you go through a heartbreak or a loss. What if I would have protected them better? What if I would have loved them better? What if I would have given more? What if I would have just done this and this? And that makes it so hard for you, and it feels so bad because you feel you should have done more, and you keep on replaying those moments and those memories and wondering what if you did better. But the reality of the matter is you actually did your best. You gave your best. You loved. It just did not work, but your brain is refusing to process that. What are some of the steps you can take to go through a heartbreak? There are many, and I am just going to give you a few of them. And what I want to tell you is that healing isn't linear. It's not straight path for everybody. Some days you will be happy, some days you will be sad, some days you will just be grieving, some days you will just be going through a lot of emotions. But what matters is you are here and you're looking for solutions on how to heal. How do you heal? How do you move on from a heartbreak? Point number 1, allow yourself to grieve. Be messy. Healing is different for every person. You don't have to be messy. You can journal your pain. You can write down. You can scream how you want. You can cry. Actually, crying is good. I do not recommend crying though, because every time I cry, my eyes puff, and then I start shedding skin, and then I end up, tired for like a whole day. Like right now, I'm doing this video, but I'm very tired because I'm going through a heartbreak. But whatever it is that helps you to go through the grieving period, please do it. Write letters to the person who hurt you. Did they hurt you? Write everything you would want to tell them, okay? Write down, and you can send them those letters if you want. But most of the time, if it did not end well, then you can actually burn those letters, or even if not burn those letters, keep them in a safe until you're ready to heal. Like, make sure every day you're actually letting go of those emotions. Like, you need to bring out like what you're feeling inside. You can go somewhere, there are places where people practice how to shoot. Go shoot. Like, just go in an empty space and scream. I do not know what is it that will work for you, but you have to let out the emotions. And you do not have to compare yourself with other people, because it takes time. It actually takes time for you to grieve. So allow yourself to grieve and know that it's okay. It's okay for you to grieve. However you do it, whether it's messy or it's in the calm manner, just make sure that you deal with it. Because if you do not deal with it, that's how people turn out to be toxic. And you do not want to be toxic at all. Accept what happened. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. But you have to accept what happened. You cannot heal something that you've not accepted. So you have to tell yourself, okay, well, this happened. Yeah, this happened. But I will survive it. You have to accept that this did not go the way you expected, and it's painful, and you're going through all these emotions, but you're not going to be toxic or throw it to someone else. Because I've seen people, whenever they get heartbroken or they're going through tough times, they leash it on innocent people. No, you decide, I am going to heal, and I am going to accept this happened to me. And sometimes accepting what happened to you will actually release a bitter part of the anger. Remember, you are angry, you had hopes, you had dreams, you had imaginations of your life with this person, and in my case, like my life with this pet, but then you accept, like, okay, cool, it happened, it's painful, but I'm accepting. And accepting, you do it even by actions, like you start practicing how to, like, if you are crying, like yesterday, I cried every break I was alone, I cried. But then today, I've cried like 3 times. So you go as you accept, as you reduce the number of times you're crying. That's part of acceptance and healing. Detach with love. Remember, we talked about detachment. Now this is the time to practice it. Detachment does not mean you don't care or you do not love the person or the thing that, had broke you. It just means you actually choosing to let it go in peace. Like in my case, I will always love Starah. Starah was my cat, as I've said. And as much as I will love him, I will have to learn how to detach slowly. Like, let him go, like accept that, I'm not clinging to the fact that I would have saved him or what. I'm accepting that I gave him love and I did whatever I could, and the guilt is not mine to bear that, he sneaked out and got attacked. And I am letting him go in peace and always keeping in my heart. If in your case it's a relationship, you can decide to now ask yourself questions, okay? This is the point where you be honest with yourself, bestie. You ask yourself, why didn't this relationship work? If they were so good as I'm thinking, why is it that it did not work? If they were the best person and we were supposed to be together, why is it that it didn't work? You ask yourself tough questions and you go yourself and like, now that you've learned, now that you're in pain, now that you are wiser, what would you have done differently? Like, you use it as a lesson, a learning process, a learning curve, and you tell yourself, it does not matter. Like, it does not matter how things ended or how hurtful it was. You are rising from it better and you are detaching from it. Like, you get to now understand why it did not work. And most of the time, the reason it did not work is the version of this person you had built in your mind doesn't actually exist. That version wasn't real. It was your hopes and your expectations. It was you building your dream person in your brain, and then it's not working anymore. So once you accept that the version you loved about them did not exist, you will detach. And I saw in one of the videos someone was saying, you do not have to force yourself to let go. What you do, you just take your phone and write a list of everything this person didn't do right. The hopes you had with them, the number of times they did not take you for dates, the flowers they did not give you, the promises they broke, the heartbreaks they gave you, everything that they went wrong, everything that they did wrong. And then every time you miss them, every time you start having nostalgia and you're like, okay, I want closure, I want to speak to this person one more time, you actually get your list, and it will stop you from, fantasizing and building an image of people that doesn't exist. So detaching with love, whatever it takes to detach, whether it's a parent you've lost, if maybe it's a parent, I know that's very difficult, but detaching the love, it means you appreciate the love that they gave you, the sacrifices, but also allowing allowing and understanding that one day one of us will die, all of us will die. So you are actually letting them go and releasing them. And if it's a friendship that did not work, maybe it turned out to be toxic, you actually appreciate the good memories you shared, but you detach. You're like, okay, fine, you don't have to be in my life, but I appreciate the time. That is what we mean detaching by love. Like, you're not being toxic, you're not, throwing, rumors here and there, you're not trying to you're not trying to break their reputation, you're actually just detaching and stepping aside. Protect your space. Some people say that protecting yourself or your space is an act of weaknesses. No, it's not an act of weakness. It's actually an act of strength. You have to know, how do you protect your space from now letting go? How do you protect your space? If it's a human being, that is, you can block, you can mute, you can unfollow, you can choose to not check their social profiles. You have to learn to protect your space. And if it's a case like me where I've lost a pet, I can refuse to go to their graveside. I can refuse to keep on checking, things that remind me of them or where they were sleeping. I just protect my space by first deciding, okay, this is it. But for you, if it's a human being, you just have to like protect your space. Because sometimes the reason why heartbreak lasts for so long, and the reason why it hurts you so bad, it's because your brain keeps lingering. You think like you're getting closure, or you think like you're getting to check on them, but you're not. You're actually hurting yourself more because you are staying in this, you're replaying this moment over and over. Stop. I know it's hard, but you cannot keep on you cannot actually stop thinking about this person if all you do is check their socials and be obsessed over them. The more you get obsessed, the more in love you be. So you need to like detach and step back, and at the same time protect your space. And if it means you block them, cool, block them. If it means you'd never speak to them again, cool. Unless you have kids that you're co-parenting. I mean, that one is, you can speak through a third party, which is a lawyer. But you can always protect your space. Like, one big step of healing and moving from a heartbreak is not reaching out to that person. And you cannot do that if you're not talking to them physically, but you are actually stalking them and obsessed about their next move. No, stop, please stop. Self-compassion means also fighting your negative thoughts on your behalf. You have to stop telling yourself you will never find love again. Good people do not exist. All men cheat. All women cheat. There are no good women. There are no good men. You have to stop doing that. Because the moment you allow yourself to have all these negative thoughts and negative seeds, then that's it for you. You're not going to move on from there. And you have to know that there are always good people waiting for you. Like, you might have met one bad person who has hurt you and left your heart in tatters and shatters, but you're gonna still rise again. You're gonna still be in love again. You're gonna still get married again. You're gonna still do things again. And you're gonna still build the beautiful life that you wanted. Self-compassion involves talking yourself out of negativity anytime you're spiraling and anytime you want to make yourself convinced that you deserved all the bad things that happened to you. No, you didn't. You did not do that. And as I said, if it involves a pet or something else, you also have to know that you did your best. It's like when you lose a baby, self-compassion is really needed in case you lose a baby, because you're gonna tell yourself, I should have taken him to the hospital, or hi, I should have done this, I should have, protected him or her more, you start blaming yourself because your baby is gone. But the reality of the matter is that was meant to be your path sometimes. God chose you to walk through that path because he knew you could actually handle that. So you talk to yourself with a lot of kindness when you're going through whatever kind of heartbreak. Find healthy emotional outlets. Okay. Remember, when you're going through a heartbreak, or when you've gone through a heartbreak, your emotions are everywhere. Like, they're everywhere. They're spiraling everywhere. You have to learn where can you unleash these emotions to. And as we said when I was starting the video, we said you can actually journal. When you accept, you can journal. You can write down. You can write letters that you can send or not send them. You can also get things like dancing, the things that you wanted to do when you were a child. Hey, like get yourself to a dance class. Get yourself to a music class, painting class, poetry class. Like, get yourself into things that will channel all these emotions that you are going through. And it should be a healthy way. And one thing, when you look at history, when you look at life, most of the life revolutionaries, whether it's in book side, like writing books, whether it's in music, whether it's in art, most of them were actually heartbroken. Like, some of the world's most greatest pieces of work, like art and all that, is actually from people who were heartbroken. They just channeled their pain into writing, into art, into something that they could have, maybe not done it, but they write very beautiful emotions. Because when you are emotional, trust you me, you write the best, you sing the best, you dance the best. Because remember, it's a lot of emotion, so you have a lot of energy to do all these things. So instead of spiraling, please make sure you find the healthy channels of unleashing your emotions, and you take advantage of it properly. You never know. Maybe you being heartbroken is the reason that we'll get the next world famous artist, or world famous YouTuber, or world famous, writer. There are a lot of things that you can actually channel your emotions too. And sometimes it does not have to be commercial. You can decide, I will write this until I heal. And when you heal, you do not have to share it with anyone. But sometimes you can actually decide to share with us and we say, because you know why a lot of people blow up or they become successful when they share the emotional side? It's because a lot of people are looking for something real, something authentic, something raw. And you sharing your story will actually make you stand out in a crowd. If it's YouTube and you're sharing your raw experiences, you're gonna get a following, a massive following, because people are looking to relate with your story. So a lot of people can relate with your journey, with your pain, with all that, and then you become a source of inspiration. I mean, if you can turn your pain into money and fame and success, why not do that? Why spiral and harm yourself and hurt yourself when you can actually channel that? Channel that to success. Care for your body. Your mind and your heart and your brain heals better when you care for your body. And this is what I mean. Even if you don't feel like sleeping, even if you do not feel like being healthy, you have to do it because that's the only way to heal. So you have to eat nourishing foods, treat yourself and eat well. Even when you don't feel like, you have to sleep well and sleep early if you can, even if you don't feel like. That way, you're actually taking care of you. You're actually helping your brain and your heart and all those emotions heal. Because there's a way we heal when we take care of ourselves. You go to the workout, you work out, you go for walks, you just take care of yourself, your whole physical being. And I've seen people get the best bodies after heartbreaks. They get revenge bodies. So if that involves you getting a revenge body, I mean, getting a revenge body is better than getting a revenge body. You know what that means? Okay, anyway. So you choose which body you are going to go with, you can go work out or you can also get another extra body. So anyway, that's it. Like, make sure you take care of your body during this time. Like, and I mean body. Rediscover yourself. Trauma has a way of changing who you are, and that's okay. And remember, heartbreak, most of the time, it's a trauma. It does not matter what it involved, whether it was a human being or a pet or a family member, it doesn't matter. Like, most of the time, it ends leaving you traumatized. You do not want to try again. And I saw someone writing, like, you're left questioning yourself whether you want to ever feel that kind of a heartbreak again or that kind of love again. It just leaves you so lost and, so hurt, and you're trying to find who you are again, and that's very okay. So start investing in yourself again. What are the hobbies you used to like before this pain came to you? What are the things you liked doing? Invest in there, because at the end of the day, what will heal you is you becoming someone you love more than becoming someone you wish you don't love anymore. And as we said, when you're going through heartbreak, the emotions are too much. So if you do not invest in your hobbies, in your talents, in your gifts, and the things that you loved before doing, you are going to invest in alcoholism, you're going to invest in fake crowds, you're going to invest in drug addiction, you're going to invest in the wrong things. Remember, these emotions have to be let out. So the best way, just invest in something that you love. Like, what is it that you loved? Rediscover who you are again. Rediscover your whole purpose. It's good for you to reinvent yourself. Like, you can decide, okay, this pain changed me so much, but it's not just going to change me mentally. It's going to change my whole outlook of life. I am going to become very successful. I am going to do this and this. And you rediscover your whole life and rebuild that life, as we said. Create meaning from your pain. Okay, I think I said up there, like, when you go through heartbreak, you can actually write the best song of the whole world. You can write the best book. You can, become the best YouTuber. You can actually build something. So turn that pain into something positive. If you went through a loss of a child, how about you start a foundation that helps mothers who've lost their children? If you went through a heartbreak and somebody dumped you, how about you start, counseling classes and train people, or maybe talk to those who are going through heartbreak? If, like me, you went through a heartbreak of your, physical, like your hand, how about you become the role model that you always wanted to see in social media? By the way, I always wanted to see someone who had my looks and who had my hand, but I never saw one. So I became that person in social media. How about turning your pain into purpose? Turning your heartbreak into something that will help more people. I've seen some people who started, like, they lost their husbands and then they started a foundation for the widows, or they started helping people, or they grew up hungry, and then they started feeding the needy. So you can always channel your pain into purpose, channel your pain into something that will help more people. And trust you me, when you help other people deal with their pain, it's actually a way of healing yourself. And I can say this because the reason why I'm talking about Starah, and Starah is the reason I'm talking about Heartbreak, is that through me loving Starah, through me taking care of Starah, a cat which had a hand like mine, it healed me in so many ways. I was able to see myself through an animal. I was able to understand why I'm always scared. He was very scared. I was able to actually understand from another perspective. So if I was simply someone who did not have a hand like this, I would not be concerned about an animal with disability. No, I would actually be like, okay, cool. At least it's a good thing this pet has died, because he could not even use, like, he had to be given special care, attention. And through me taking care, like, through me going through this, I was able to turn that pain to even take care of animals. I can relate, I connect with animals. Are having disabilities, or kids, or people who are going through challenges. I get a lot of inboxes of people telling me, hey, Brightstar, I named my daughter after you because my daughter has this and this. You become that person. Like, by you turning your pain into purpose, you actually help yourself. And trust you me, before like a few years ago, I was not in good conditions with my mom. Like, I was not talking to mom. I did not like my mom at all. But then I helped a few girls who were pregnant. I hosted them in my house until they gave birth. And trust you me, you know what that taught me? It taught me how hard it is to actually be pregnant when you're young. And that helped me heal. You see, just because I was a child born by a teen mom and I'm trying to help other girls who are getting kids when they're young, it helped me to heal and helped me fix my relationship with my mom, because I realized, oh my goodness, it's not an easy thing. I did not have to be pregnant myself for me to know, but I was able to see other people and knew how hard that is. So when you decide to use your pain for purpose, trust you me, you're going to change a lot of lives, but in the same time, you're going to change yours. And the best way you can do that is channeling your pain into purpose. And let me tell you, there's a quote I see. It normally says, everything is hard, choose your hard. And I'm going to tell you this exactly. It's hard for you to heal through a heartbreak by self-harming yourself, distracting yourself, taking alcohol, sleeping with different people. It's actually hard. But it's also very hard to start a foundation and help people. You choose your hard. So I would really, really appreciate if you could choose your hard to be doing things that better the community. And I've seen, even we saw recently with one of my favorite YouTubers, if you become a single mom, you can actually choose to help other single moms like you. Or you can choose to be very bitter and go say now men are toxic and stuff like that. No, you choose to use your pain to better other people. And sometimes God chooses someone who has a particular problem because you will understand people better. I understand people more because I've been through a lot in life. And you will understand people more because of the heartbreak you've gone through. Believe you will love again. Love does not die with heartbreak, okay? I want you to listen to this. Love does not die with heartbreak. It transforms, softens, and comes back when you are ready in ways and forms you cannot imagine. So I know right now your emotions are everywhere, your feelings are everywhere, and you are feeling you can never love again and you can never go through this again. And of course, it's normal. It's like the first steps of healing, as we said, and it's fine. But I want you, no matter how hard it is for you to believe, you will love again, okay? You will start again, and you will actually do it better, and this time it will be a success. And stop listening to sad songs. I think I said that, but when it comes to love, please listen to beautiful love songs. When you start listening to the ones that says love hurts, or I will always love you, or things that actually make you stuck, you are never going to move on. So during this period, it's okay for you to listen to the sad songs, because who will listen to them if you don't? But during this period, when you're going through tough times, that's the time you need to avoid. Like, you need to listen to songs that heal you, songs that uplift you. You need to listen to songs that make you, feel like, hey, I want to love and go for a date. Okay, this advice is very weird coming from me because I do not practice it. But anyway, believe you are going to love again. Like, believe you are going to love again. And actually, Start preparing to love again even when you don't feel like it. Like, start dressing up as if you're going for a date. Join a dating site. I mean, talk to a few people. It won't do you harm. Go to social events and gathering. Like, start showing up. Like, start acting like someone who will love again. Like, not someone who will never love again. And I think that's a hard one to do because when you go through a heartbreak, sometimes it paralyzes every area of your life, even your work. So I've seen people lose their jobs and their careers because they were heartbroken, and it paralyzes you. It's quite addictive. It's like a drug, as I said. So it's hard for you to get out of there and believe that you're gonna go through there, but you have to allow your heart to heal. Like, you have to do the work. As I said, ask yourself questions. Why didn't this work? What could have been better? Now that I have the lessons, what could I have done if I get in another relationship like that? You have to prepare yourself to love again. It's hard. It's hard, I know. And even with my case with Starah, honestly, I even told my grandma, I was like, when all these cats I have die, I have several cats. It's not only one. But Starah was among the favorites because of the fact that we shared the same hand. But I was telling my grandma, I do not think I'm ever going to get cats again. I am done with this, I am done with this. And my grandma was telling me, no, when they are not there anymore, you will want them and you'll miss them. So you see, sometimes you just have to know, you will love again. I'm not sure I have another space in my heart to love a three-legged cat again, because I really overinvested. I overinvested in this cat so much. But then I believe I will still be able to love again someday. Not now, though. Take all your time. I mean, again, the one thing I want to say, as you believe you will do these things again, give yourself time. Time heals everything. Like, how you are feeling now is not how you'll be feeling next year at the same time. So you have to give yourself time, time to heal, time to grieve, time to accept. But also, when you're giving yourself time, let it not be so much time. I've seen people make that mistake where you go through a heartbreak and then you lose 4 years of your life, and by the time you're realizing the world has moved, your career has moved, you've lost your job, you lost your business, and you know where you start, you're heartbroken. Don't be that person. Give yourself a maximum of 2 months or 3 months. I think that's a reasonable time. Cry, do all those things, but also give yourself time. Time has a way of making you realize, I'm hurt because, I had created an image of this person in my mind. That version does not exist. And I'm healing and moving on. And, sometimes heartbreaks are meant to protect you. Okay? Heartbreaks are meant to protect you. Sometimes, and let me not explain that in this point, but give yourself time and trust that you will love again and you will thrive again and you will start again. Lean on your support system. Allow yourself to be held when you feel like falling. And what do I mean? What is your support system? In my case, I have my grandma. I have my team. I have few people that I can talk to when I'm going through tough times. And so you should have those people. Have the people that you can talk to. Allow yourself to open up to close people. When you're going through a heartbreak, that's the time you want to isolate and be by yourself. But what I can advise you is that that's actually the time that you need your support system most. Talk to your family member, talk to your friend, talk to your family, talk to a therapist if you do not have a support system. But whatever the case, do not isolate yourself. Do not cry yourself every day. Do not listen to sad songs. Please do not listen to sad songs. Even today morning, I went to the washroom and I was listening to a sad song about death, and I ended up crying. It triggered me, and I had stopped crying yesterday night. And that taught me that you do not need to listen to sad songs when you're going through a heartbreak or pain. That's the time you need to change your tunes. You need to listen to beautiful songs that remind you of how beautiful life is, and that makes you want to dance and get out and do all the things that you've always wanted to do. And do not be alone. Do not self-isolate. Be with people. If you can visit a friend for a sleepover, do so. If you can go take that trip that you've always planned with your friends, do so. Make sure, even if you do not feel like it, you try to be around people as much as possible. And even when you're at work, try and do whatever it is that you're meant to do when you're there, because sometimes you will be tempted to just scroll throughout, and scrolling again makes you feel bad about yourself. So have a support system, but do not just have a support system just by words. You have a support system by practicing. And if you don't have a support system, you can actually go to the gym. something like that. You can go to a place where there are people, you understand? You can go for a walk. Make sure you do not self-isolate at all. Your support system will help you heal faster and move on from the heartbreak more than you will do it in your isolated room. Rebuild your routines and your life. Get small, tiny actions that actually keep you anchored when everything else is chaotic. If you are sleeping every day or you are crying every day, start by taking a morning walk, meditating, journaling, reading your Bible or whatever book of scripture that you read. Like, have certain small habits that you incorporate in your day-to-day life that will make you feel like you're progressing and doing something with your life. Most of the time when you're heartbroken, and I've experienced that, whenever I get heartbroken, I go missing for 2 weeks and then I stay indoors and then I cry. And then by the time I realize I've lost so much, I've lost clients, I've lost time, I've lost, I've not been recording, my social media is stagnating. I've just lost so much. And then when I'm starting again, I feel so bad about myself and I regret it. And I'm like, why did I do that? I really wish I did not do this. So instead of you, spiraling for like weeks, give yourself a day or two to cry. Like, spiral, watch negative gossip. I do that. I do that. Oh my goodness. I watch negative gossip. And then by the time I'm done listening to that, my mind is like tired. I'm like, oh my goodness. And then now it gives me a lot of anxiety because I'm like, so and so failed, so I'm gonna fail. No, don't do that. Like, have small habits. Like, just start small. And when I say rebuild your life, I'm saying you've been going through some tough times now, and maybe the heartbreak was one of the most painful things. You start now by saying, this is the time I'm gonna build the life that I want. Okay? And what do I mean like that? When I was younger, I was really bullied about my hand. And I do not talk much about it. Okay, I do. I think it's a big deal to me because I experience it a lot. But a lot of people bullied me. And then now when I'm grown, there's some of them that are actually reaching out to me. They're like, I'm so proud of you. You've grown in social media. You've grown a business. You've done this. And honestly, there's that human side of me that tells me, okay, now they can see that you're becoming something. And then I want to be like mean and something like, hey, remember you told me I could not do this and this. But then, because I'm building my dream life, I say, oh, stop, Brightstar, don't do that. And I have learned, when you build your dream, like, reinvest in yourself. Like, what were you doing? What were you passionate about before this heartbreak? What were you passionate about before going through all this pain that you're going through? Start by doing that. And the best revenge you can actually give. I was actually watching Liz, YouTube for Liz, Wizard Liz, and she was saying God will fix you in front of the people who something despise you. I did not get the exact quote, but she was trying to say, like, God will actually set your table in front of your enemies. But she used another quote. And that's what I can tell you. Like, if you keep on building your life and you get, a structure, the things you're going to do, and focus on just you and your growth, God has a way of making sure that you succeed. And once you succeed, you'll have your dream life, you'll have your dream finances, you'll have your dream spouse, you'll have everything that you want. And that is enough revenge, honestly. So do not really focus on hurting people. Do not focus on, if someone cheated on you, you decide, okay, I'm going to cheat. Like, oh, they did this. Because once you cheat, your body count goes up. So it's your body that has been messed up, not the other person's. So you cannot give revenge by deciding you're gonna do harmful things to yourself, you're gonna hurt yourself. No, you do revenge by building your routine, rebuilding your routine again first, because it starts by the small tiny habits, okay? And then you rebuild your life. Those small tiny habits that include your routine, they are actually gonna build your dream life. And then with time, you're not gonna be sad. You're even gonna be like, okay, so you hurt me or you broke me. Actually, you gave me my dream life. You actually pushed me to have my dream life. And so that one does not apply with me and my pet. Unfortunately, like, I can just build a dream life for the other kittens, but I'm not in revenge. I'm actually wishing I could bring him to life. But this only applies to if your heartbreak is from a bad perspective and not death, okay? So rebuild your dream life. Rebuild your routines and your dream life. Practice self-compassion. Speak to yourself as you would speak to your best friend. If your best friend was going through the things that you're going through, or you was going through a heartbreak, how would you speak to them? You would actually remind them of their worth, tell them they're beautiful, tell them that, you've got this, tell them that person was a piece of, let me not say the word, but like you will actually speak to them with so much kindness. So why is it that when it comes to you, you are now so harsh on yourself? Stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming yourself, okay? Things might not have gone the way you expected or how you planned, but you cannot blame yourself. Forgive yourself for the what ifs. What if I did this? What if I gave it more? What if I did this and this? Like, forgive yourself. You have to be compassionate with yourself. Sometimes we have a lot to give to the world, but we do not have anything to give ourselves because we do not feel like we deserve the compassion here, but we do. We actually do deserve it. You deserve to know that it's okay, things did not work, but it's fine, it's fine. And honestly, this applies both in losing a pet, losing an animal, or losing someone. In my case, I've had to speak to myself with so much compassion right now because I'm looking at Starah and I'm heartbroken he's gone, but I'm also looking at what if I did not allow him to ever go outside? Why did I allow my grandmother to stay with him? What if I had actually moved the houses when I wanted to move my grandma instead of now not being afraid of Starah? Moving out. What if I was there? There are so many things that I've been thinking. But you know what? On the other side, I look at it and I'm like, okay, I protected this cat with all I had. And it was just that its time to go was gone. So it's the same thing you have to put in your daily talk. You tell yourself, okay, this relationship was my dream relationship. I wanted it to work so bad, but it was time that it ended because we were not compatible, because we had things that we needed to work on, because we were not meant to be. If it's a friendship that ended, you only be like, okay, fine. It was time it ended. I'm hurt, but then I'm forgiving myself. I did all I could, and now I'm wiser. Now I've learned. In case I get in another relationship, or another friendship, or another family, I'm gonna know what to do. So you have to speak to yourself with a lot of compassion. You're like, okay, then I'm going through this, but I've got this. I have all it takes. I have all it takes to overcome bad. And you cannot tell yourself that why do bad things happen to you? They're happening to everybody. You need to know they're actually happening to everybody, not just you. And you cannot start saying bad things always happen to me. You cannot be unkind to yourself, because once you go that route, it becomes very difficult for you to believe that actually good things can happen to you. Last but not least, trust in God. Remember, God knows about your whole life journey, okay? God knows about your loneliness. He knows about your grief. He knows about your tears. He knows about your skepticism. He knows about everything that you've been going through, your heartbreaks, your betrayals, and everything that is making you feel heartbroken. He knows about that person maybe who hurt you and that pet that came in your life and broke you into pieces. He knows because he is the one who brought that in your life. He is. And so you have to go back to him. Remember, he's the creator. He's the father. Ask him, God, I want you when you're giving me the next person to give me the right one. Sometimes you have to ask God. You just have to talk to him. And I don't know why we forget this. It's very, very important. He's our father. He knows us. We are his children. But we always forget. And I've been guilty of this. Some of the people who hurt me in terms of business and in terms of friendships, and they've left me with a big heartbreak to nurse, are actually people I did not pray about. Or people that God gave me a sign at the first start. When I was becoming their friends or something went wrong and God gave me that sign and I ignored it. And now they come and they crush my heart. And I'm like, oh God, you knew. You gave me a sign. I'm the one who did not listen. So sometimes you just have to trust God and actually see the signs for yourself. I remember one time I prayed and I was like, God, I need you to get out the fake people in my life. Ooh, things that were unfolded. That same week, I got a call from this girl who exposed my then best friend. She told me everything about him. I got another, people just were exposed in my life. When you trust God, you'll barely get heartbroken. And if you do, you're gonna be able to deal with it very quickly, knowing that God brought this person in your life for a reason, and maybe they are, their role is done, but also you are going to be very, very safe when things happen to you, because you know God wouldn't let anything that can kill you happen to you. So you need to trust in God. Like, whenever you're going through it, like even this time I prayed to God, I was like, God, you know that Starah went from pain to pain, but you still allowed him to die. May your will be done. Sometimes it will take you surrendering to God and letting his will be done. And also, sometimes it's going to take you some time for you to pray. And, you know, it just happens so that, tell me why, since Starah passed away, I've just been praying. I'm like, God, heal me from this pain. Heartbreaks has a way of bringing you closer to God, by the way. It has a way of it has a way of remembering home. And I'm like, okay, God, please help me. So, yeah. So trust in God and also understand why this happened to you. It might be because he wanted to bring you closer to him, or he wanted to just, you know, teach you a lesson so that you can be better to the world, or he knew that you needed this kind of an experience, because sometimes heartbreaks happen at a particular times to avoid you making bigger mistakes in future. So yeah, trust in God. We have come to the end of today's video, and before you go, I hope you've learned a few things from today's video. When we talk about heartbreak, it's just not about romantic heartbreak. Yes, that's like the biggest heartbreak, but there's romantic heartbreak, there's friendship heartbreak, there's family heartbreak, there's, you know, animal or pet heartbreak, there's unrequited love heartbreak, there's heartbreak from your expectations and your hopes, there's heartbreaks from, you know, things that you really hope that you will do and you didn't do. There's a lot of heartbreaks around, and you have to like know that your feelings and your emotions are valid. Okay, your feelings and emotions are valid, because sometimes when you go through a heartbreak, maybe it's something that doesn't matter to a lot of people, and they try to make you move on. It's just a car, or move on. It's just a friend. But we heal, we heal differently. We grieve differently. And if you are going through any kind of a heartbreak, any kind, even if it's a business heartbreak, whatever kind of heartbreak, I want to know that your feelings are valid, and I want you to know that it's okay for you to take time to heal and grieve. It does not matter what it is. It does not always have to be about people. And if it's about people, you don't have to take a day like everyone else. You can actually take 3 months or 2 months. You can take your time to help. And so before we go, I want you to put your hand on your chest like this and say, I deserve love. I deserve all the abundance in this life. I let go of guilt of things that happened in the past. I am worthy of being loved and loving back. I have what it takes to become the best version of myself, even after everything I've been through. This love does not break me. Sorry, this heartbreak will not break me. It will actually build me. That I will rise above this and I will become the best version of myself. I want you to always tell yourself those words anytime you're going through stuff. Tell yourself, you understand that it's hard, but you're going to put the effort, and that you're not going to carry guilt for what happened, and that it was not your fault alone. It takes two to fail, you know, like it takes two to tango. So even if something did not work, bestie, it's just not your fault. And you have to like use your lessons for the future. And yeah, so if you're going through a heartbreak, I am sending you a lot of love and hugs. And I want you to know that one day we are going to be okay, okay? One day we are going to heal. One day we are going to rise again. It might not be today. No. It might not be today. It might not be tomorrow. It might take some time. But one day we are going to heal. And we are going to heal loudly. And at least when we remember of that heartbreak, of that pain, we are going to look at the scars and the memories that we'll be having, not from a bitter point, not from regrets, but as a sample or as an evidence of how deeply we loved and how strong we are, because we are in touch with our emotions and you can actually love fully, and we are going to use it to be better for the next relationship and the next friendship and the next animal and whatever it is that comes our way. Bye, bestie! Goodbye, online family, and see you in my next video.